Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. Turns out episode 79 had some hidden messages. While a couple of them were discovered pretty quickly, there's one at the beginning of a scene that most people, me included, didn't even notice. It's super hard to hear. For those who don't know about the first two, let me go over them real quick. When the polycephaly TV man speaks, the subtitles say one thing, but when you reverse the audio, he's actually saying,
"Hurry up or I'll leave you all behind."
And then Scarf TV man, instead of "we needed more time," says,
"How did they find Australia?"
Now, those two are just fun details and don't really change the plot much, but this third one is a whole different story. First of all, it's super quiet, almost impossible to catch, and my editor had to really work to bring it out enough to hear. I suggest we watch that little clip first, and then we'll break it down. You can clearly hear the phrase, "if you hear this message," and probably more after that, but honestly, I couldn't catch the rest. If any of you managed to make it out, drop it in the comments. Even though the sentence isn't complete, we can guess that someone was trying to warn the Alliance about the incoming threat, the Astro toilets. But the real question is, who sent it? The first one who comes to mind is the Titan TV man. Let me explain. In the episode, we saw that he's still conscious, able to talk, and even show emotion. After the scientist's mecha suit was destroyed, you could clearly hear the Titan crying. So based on that, I'd say he's the one who sent the message. You can see he's fighting back against the parasite. Since he can't control his body, he's trying to protect the Alliance in other ways. Also, the message is only heard in reverse. And in this series, only the TV men speak in reverse. That basically confirms it. The message was sent by the Titan TV man, hoping to help the Alliance. It was heard when the prototype translator was turned on, which makes me think there's a special radio frequency they can secretly use to decode what the Titan is trying to say. And you know what's interesting? Back in episode 77, the Titan said it would take something big to hurt him. And now, in episode 79, we hear him crying out in pain and regret. That really says a lot about the Astro race. They enjoy causing pain and suffering. They try to break their victims in every way possible, mentally and physically, and the parasite core is proof of that. But why are they doing this? And can the TV man fight back against the parasite? That's what I keep wondering. Why would the Astros leave his mind intact? What for? Wouldn't it be easier to completely shut him down and control him fully? Is this a mistake or some kind of clever plan? We'll try to figure that out as the video goes on. And we'll also talk about what exactly the secret agent lady is doing at the Cameraman base. Because aside from the chair, there was one more small detail that gives away the reason she's really there. But first, the promised gift. In the episode 79 breakdown, I said if we hit 15,000 likes, we'd make a wedding poster for Simp Cameraman and TV Woman. You guys already hit 10K, so I figured I'd show you a preview. Big thanks to animator Fee for helping out. He's the one hiding behind the trees in the scene. We tried to imagine an alternate storyline where the war ended peacefully, the simp was never captured or upgraded, and everything just turned out chill. Came out pretty atmospheric and beautiful, so if you're rooting for a quicker Alliance victory and peace for everyone, hit that like button. And now, let's dive into the video. Let's start with our poor TV Titan. I said before that the Astros love to cause pain and suffering, breaking their enemies completely, both mentally and physically. And what if they want to fully destroy the personality of the TV man and build their own version on top of it? One that can't be reversed even if the parasite is removed from the core. That kind of fighter would be way more effective and reliable than a parasite-controlled one. He would follow orders, obey, and fight for the Astros until he dies. Sounds a lot like their army of little Astros, right? And if you consider the fact that they're all wearing metal collars, it's clear how the Astros treat their enemies and what happens to them afterward. And most likely, that's the exact fate waiting for the TV Titan. That's why they let him keep his consciousness, so they could destroy it once and for all. That's what Juggernaut meant when he said, "A fate worse than death." The Titan would become a puppet for the Astros. Maybe that's even how Juggernaut himself was recruited. But can the TV Titan resist the parasite? That was the question Stake asked during the interview with Boom. And Boom said no, he'll need outside help. The most obvious candidate is G-Man, but for now there's not much hope. The only thing he can do now is try to resist because the chances of freeing him are almost zero, especially with the Duchess around. While we're on the topic of the TV Titan, let's talk about the new screens he used against the Alliance agents. It's already clear that the new TVs from the Astro toilets can break through the standard Cameraman lenses. That means the cameramen there are in huge danger. And if no one comes to help, we can say goodbye to all the agents in that area, including Camerawoman. But where did the Astro toilets get this kind of tech? The Titan theory doesn't work. He was captured without any screens. Maybe the skibidi toilets gave them some of the TV men's books, but that seems unlikely. Most likely the Astro toilets got those screens from the TV men base. That kind of plasma has only ever been seen there. Now, someone might say, how is that possible if the TV scientist teleported the whole base somewhere else? And you'd be right, but here's the thing. When the mothership fired its laser at the mountain, the whole TV men base started shaking and falling apart. Because of that, it didn't fully teleport and left behind some broken pieces at the old location. And after finding those screen fragments, the Astro toilets were able to repair them and use them through the TV Titan, after upgrading them for more power. I think you all noticed the chair, but what was she doing there again? What was her goal this time? You could say she was just planning to move to a new base with one of the containers or just observing, if it weren't for one tiny detail in that same scene. Take a close look at this clip. Did you catch it? If not, here, at this moment you can see one of the computers getting hacked, and the agent nearby looks surprised, clearly not expecting that. So, what did she extract from the computer? Most likely it was data on the approximate location of the remaining agents, especially considering the fact that cameramen no longer broadcast from their screens. It makes sense. Also, there might have been other data, like stolen Astro toilet tech or info about the Alliance's new base. The cameramen do need a new place, and they've built a completely hidden new base for their research. Or maybe the agents are moving to the Speakermen base, since we're supposed to see it soon. I even think we'll get that reveal in episode 80. Episode 80 is going to be epic, no doubt, but let's not forget about part 2 of episode 79. I already told you in previous videos why the detective needs that device, but there's also a non-story reason for it. In an earlier interview, Boom mentioned a new ability that we, the viewers, will get. I used to think it meant we'd be able to influence the plot or choose the fate of our favorite characters, but turns out it's simpler than that. It's the ability to finally understand all the races in the show. Before, only the TV men could speak and explain things to us. Now we can understand all the Alliance races, and soon, all the agents will start wearing these translators. But the most important part isn't even that. When I asked Boom some questions, I brought up episode 60, specifically the conversation between G-Man and the Astro UFO. Boom said we'd find out what they talked about in episode 79. So if they didn't show it in part 1, that means part 2 is going to reveal what that chat between the UFO and G-Toilet was really about. And most likely, it'll be thanks to that translator device that we'll finally learn what they were discussing in secret. I even think I know how it's going to go down. Most likely, the detective will start digging through old Alliance recordings as part of his investigation, translating skibidi conversations to find useful info about the secret agent. And one of the clips he checks out will be from episode 60, which he'll watch while wearing the translator on his head. Now, about the thumbnail, yeah, it'd be super epic if the entire armada showed up at the base, but honestly, the chances of that are basically zero. Why? Because it'd just be way too many characters packed into one tiny area, especially since we already have a ton of Titans on the battlefield. We don't need that many all at once, and it would feel too similar to episode 78. In my opinion, the appearance of just one Titan speakerman is more than enough to make it epic. Oh, and by the way, that hidden message at the beginning of the episode? One of our Discord members pointed it out to me, so huge thanks to them for the tip. If you also want to help me spot cool details or just stay on top of the latest news, hop into our Discord. I'll leave the link in the description. See you in the next videos.